Hello everyone, Alexander the Great here. Welcome back to Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. This episode, in the last episode we went through Boston, and now we're going to go through New York. Here stinks of gasoline and trash and you're boxed in by brick, but damn, there's something invigorating about that stink. God, you feel like there's an engine in your chest. If you say so.
The engines belch black smoke as the ferry churns gray water into froth. A broad-shouldered figure leans out over the rail, eyeing the skyscrapers on the horizon. Nearby, a man and a woman speak in low, urgent voices. He takes her wrist gently. She is weeping softly.
I wish you didn't have to go,
She says.
There's gotta be work on some of those buildings going up.
His thumb skates over her pulse point.
I checked every day for a week. There ain't. I'll be back, though. Got your picture in my wallet, don't I? It's not forever.
Her words are split by a sob.
Might as well be. My parents didn't come to New York for this.
She leans against him, the wind tousling her hair. He pulls her to his chest.
I'm leaving because I gotta go. If there was another way...
They stand together, close, quiet, in the stiff breeze.
Well, that's sad. Earn some money. Let's just... Well, actually, we panhandled last time. Let's look for work. It starts to rain in the kind of torrential tree-stripping way that only happens once or twice a year. Everyone scrambles for cover. One guy stands out in the street, a fellow with a bale of bent and lopsided umbrellas. 10 cents each, he hollers. What an opportunist. Rain has soaked him through, but he's doing a roaring trade. Hey, he tells you, go run around on the main shopping streets and pick up all the umbrellas you see, okay? People sometimes drop them when they blow inside out. I'll pay. Let's do it. He's right. There are umbrellas scattered all up and down the streets like fallen birds. You gather up an armful and the umbrella seller buys them all off you for a couple coins. The next morning, though, your throat is hoarse and your nose is running like a faucet. Well, you got cash. That's what you came for. I can go to the train station, go to the store, buy a fresh bagel. Sure, let's buy a fresh bagel. Let's get out of here. So which way is Boston? I don't want to... Well, I know Boston isn't in New Jersey. Let's just whistle our way to Philadelphia. Go stop by Delaware, maybe. Let's get into Philadelphia. I don't know what that thing is right there, but it looks like a train.
The women are oblivious to your approach. Their eyes are shut. Their touch, where they hold hands, is gentle. They speak in low tones. One stifles a burst of laughter, but it brings a smile to their faces.
Sorry.
Says the one who laughed.
Don't be.
Another assures her. They don't look up.
Be respectful.
And we give thanks. For those who have left us, who we wanted gone. For the skills to thrive without them. And for the companions who make the effort joyful.
The voice of the youngest wavers. The woman to her left squeezes her hand. This is not a scene to intrude upon.
Be respectful. Wait, there's another... Yeah, there's another story. Oh, I can hear one. Hello, motherfucker. These men lean against the walls of this hardware store, smoking and chatting. They wave you over. Heard this one before? They launched to a group resuscitation of the shootout between the female bootleggers and the cops. Didn't I do this one? Of course it happened. They got shot. The shootout. Maybe they didn't get shot. But hey, that looks like somebody I can talk to. Let's make a quick stop in Delaware. It doesn't look like Delaware is very interesting. Of course it isn't. It's Delaware. What did you expect? Hee hee hee. Let's talk to this person. Camp. Mason by New Meeker. Hello?
My twin brother Paul and I always got into trouble, but we were good.
Okay.
We didn't do nothing to anybody till we left.
Sounds bad.
Then we hurt a lot of people. Me, more so than Paul, because he didn't make it through. The march I was on, the bonus army, it's less a bonus and more an acknowledgement of what I've had to suffer. Civilians will never understand.
Won't understand it, especially if you keep talking like this.
Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
Maybe? Don't really know. I haven't gone through my stories in a while, okay? I don't know. The lovers. Oh, okay, so these are categories. Good. I was like, I don't want to press something. Happy ones. That's happy. Two brothers who reconnected after 30 years apart.
For a moment there. Just a moment. I felt better about it all, too.
Jeez, dude, you okay? But obviously
My
not.
family. They were good to me. Ma and Pa. And to Paul. And to my sister Jessie. Some days I wish I could find Jessie again and have her help me. She always liked Paul best. Tell me a happy story. Something to make the world seem kind.
I don't know if I have another happy story. Yeah, that's not a happy story. I don't know who you are, but I don't have any happy stories to tell you, so I'm gonna leave.
Leaving? Alright, I'm headed out this way next. Will our paths cross?
Maybe.
If you see any others like me, treat them well. Invite them to share your fire, too. Even if they look well and whole. None of us are whole, really. None of us have got what we're owed.
Sad episode. This has been a sad episode so far, besides me telling you one happy story. Let's get Washington. Enter the DC of Washington. It's hard to look at these shining buildings in the direct sunlight. I feel like an ant crawling among the tombs of giants. Away from the monuments, though, you'll find a city that's a little bit more human.
The mailman's uniform is dated and worn. He sits on the edge of the road, head in hands. He looks up as you approach. Can you help? Car clipped me. I think my legs... Well, I'd appreciate it if you could deliver this for me. He holds out a brown envelope.
Delivers a
The
letter.
letter's addressed to a James Gibson Sr., 120 J Street. But the city stymies you. The blocks run straight from I to K. You stop a man for directions, but he shakes his head and laughs. Someone's playing a joke on you. There's no J Street.
Keep looking.
Over here. A woman in a brown coat overheard your question. She steers you down an alley. Someone's chalked a big orange J on one wall.
Eek, you can hear that.
I thought Clovis was late. Go left up ahead. Old Man Gibson's the third on the right.
Go on
As you
along.
round the corner, the world changes. J Street is a place out of time. Like the city forgot an entire street a century ago and carried on around it, oblivious. Even the noise and bustle of D.C. can't penetrate this little pocket.
Knock on his door.
The man who answers is ancient and stooped. He peers at the letter.
I think it's from my son. I don't see so well anymore. Will you read it to me?
You tear the letter open. It isn't good news.
Oh, so I imagine this will lead to a different story. If I tell him the truth, it'll be a good one. If I lie to him, it'll be a good story. If I tell him the truth, it'll be a bad one.
He fights it, but his face crumbles. Tears roll down his cheeks.
It's better to know. I've been waiting a long time for this.
His shaking hand takes the letter.
Thank you for telling me.
I'm sorry. Alrighty. So now let's go earn some money. Let's look for work again. We wait outside a lumber warehouse for hours. You don't get there early enough to work in the warehouse, but trucks swing by every few minutes, picking up loads of fresh wood, and sometimes people from the street corner for a job elsewhere in the city. A battered pickup stops at the curb. Only a few flanks to the bed of the truck, and the cab is packed with teenagers. A young man with a bent cigarette drooping from his lip shouts to you, "Hey, want to make some cash?" Doing what? Oh boy. I'm gonna say no. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I want to do that. Well, that was Washington, D.C. Let's go here. Looks like a train station. Yeah, it's a train station. Let's go. Can I walk across this? I cannot. Alright, hop a train. Why can't I see that? I guess I can't hop a train. Is it controlled hitchhike? No. How does one hitchhike? I forget every single time. Let's interact. Q. Dink. That car went the wrong way. Gotta cross the Ohio River. I can walk and hitchhike at the same time, I think. Oh, of course, the second I move. Oh, I could literally stand in the road. You know what, actually? I think I see a story. Yeah, there's one over here. Let's go get this story. A button won't sit. I see a fire.
Clouds roll together to fill the sky.
Watch it churn.
The lightning is so strong that it seems to open a path in the haze above you. You are sure you see massive talons curved around the clouds.
Well, that sounds intriguing.
The thunder is so immense that the ground trembles. Your lips and hands tingle from the electric charge that fills the air, until the dancing lightning passes on over the hills.
Okay. So I guess we're gonna walk around the mountains. I actually see another story. You have to individually click it. I don't even see if I'm walking faster or not. So, search.
Outside the small thicket of apple trees, the phrase "tended to by John Chapman" is carved into a fence post. Nearby, a hound lies on its side, perfectly still. Flies buzz around its ears. But a grizzled man pauses at his digging to shoo them off.
Watch from the shade.
You settle in beneath a fence post and brush a couple of flies from the dog's face. The man nods. "Much obliged. He kept me company when I moved from orchard to orchard, but..." He breaks off. For a while, the only sound is the shink of the shovel in the dirt. "He's a stray. I gave him some scraps one day while I was selling trees, and he just followed me after that." He tells you stories as he digs, about his travels, about planting apple trees. Every so often, he turns to look at the still figure lying by the fence. He shakes his head. "Nearly there." When the hole is deep enough, he lowers the dog reverently into the grave. "I'll see him again in heaven," he tells you. "His soul is bound to mine. I don't think I can bear to stay here, though. Maybe I'll set out again."
John Chapman, his orchard, and his dog. I want to see if I can catch somebody on hitchhiking. Okay, this A button is really annoying me. So now we're just going to look the opposite direction and hope a car picks us up. I know there's one more coming. Okay, well, I can walk and hitchhike. Unfortunately, it's the key that's broken that I need to hit. There's Pittsburgh. Oh my gosh. There we go. I figured it out. Can I hit control still? Yes. So let's go into Pittsburgh. Let's get these two stories. Let's go to the camp, and then we'll end off this episode. After gossiping for a while about the weather and the crops and the state of the world, all bad and getting worse, he takes a different tack. You look like someone who likes a good story. Try this one on for size. Repeating, two brothers who wandered seeing each other for 50 years, eh? Listen to the tale. So, now there's the brothers who reconnected for 50 years apart. That's interesting.
You hear the whippoorwill first, shrill and close. Then you see him, high up above the black streaks of wires. A lineman, fraying belt holding him to the pole. A damned bird has come to perch on a power line, stare hungrily at the man's soul.
That's intriguing. That's because I actually live on a street that is named Whippoorwill. I mean, that's not the street I live on, but it's pretty close.
He's unsteady. His hands are shaky, and his body sways in the wind. You spot his tool bag next to the pole, worn and frayed, much like the man. A half-gone bottle of cheap rye pokes out of it.
I don't really want to I don't want to walk away. 'Cause I feel like that would not be, that would be the end of the story. But I don't want to take the bottle because I don't want to do that.
You leave the man to his work and his vices. The whippoorwill cheers you on. Whatever it's waiting for from the drunkard lineman, it'll eventually get. As you walk away, for a long time, you still hear its cry. Whippoorwill, whippoorwill, whippoorwill.
Okay. Let's go to this camp. And we'll end this off. Hey, look who we found.
Hey, traveler. Come to join my fire again? Well, I guess I know you well enough to let you set yourself down for a spell. You remember Cass and Flip?
No, I don't.
You want to hear more about my travels? Well, sure, why not? Nothing better than trading stories around the fire, and I got stories. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
Silent twins. Guys who were being
You
douchebags.
spin a good yarn. I was shivering there for a little bit.
I'm sure.
Traps and such like. Well, one time in Fort Worth, a feller tried to take Cass and Flip away.
Did you use the knife that you have in your hand?
Said a kid couldn't look out for him proper like. That they were fat in Fort Worth and they were going to the pound so that he could find him a good home.
I don't understand country logic.
Well, before I could much argue, Flip bit the hell out of that busybody and Cass and I joined in shortly. I don't think I ever seen a fella so surprised.
You bit someone, as in you stabbed him?
Guess I ain't going back to Fort Worth no more.
Probably a good idea.
I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any?
About adventuring? I don't really know. It's kind of... I don't know, like, it just says adventuring. They want a thrilling story. Okay. Pristine water in the northeast. I guess. That could work. Well, that's sadness. It's in the sadness thing. But, I mean, that's the only one I think that's thrilling.
I usually like the scary stuff, but your story needed more punch, I think.
So that's considered a scary one.
Sad. Oh, so you think just 'cause I'm young, I gotta be sad, crying after my mama every night.
Yes, precisely that.
I don't need you looking after me, so if you're offering, don't. And I thought I told you to be respectful.
I don't care.
What you really ought to be asking yourself is if you want to keep enjoying my spot or not.
Stop threatening me.
Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
I don't think I have one. I'm gonna leave you alone, Quinn.
Oh, heck, the night's over already. I sure enjoyed talking to you, but I gotta get on. I think I'll see what's happening up the road this way.
In Ohio.
The tramping life suits me just fine. Every day is a venture. With things being so depressed, folks walk around like it's the end of everything good. But it ain't. Plenty nice things to see if you know where to look.
Thank you, Quinn. And this is where we're going to end off the episode. So, can I... No, I don't want to begin anew. I want to look at the stories. How do I... Because I don't know who I just found. It doesn't say anything about that. Oh, inventory stories. Okay. Journey log. So this is the entire... So who was the guy I just met? Quinn's Adventures. Quinn, the Hope Kid near Pittsburgh. I met Mason, the World War I veteran near DC. Okay, so that's who we met. Mason, the World War I veteran. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys Later.